This week we're going to be using our tens and our ones to add two-digit numbers together. So you can see here up the top that I've got a tens and ones chart that I can use to split up these numbers that I've got on the side. I've written down some numbers. I've written 97, 34, 68 and 42. Now I'm going to put those numbers in my tens and ones chart to help me see how many tens there are and how many ones there are in each number. So if I write the number 97 like this, I can see that in 97 there are 9 tens and 7 ones. I'm going to write the next numbers. 34 has 3 tens and 4 ones. 68 has 6 tens and 8 ones, and 42 has 4 tens and 2 ones. Your first commit task for this week is going to be the worksheet that has the bunnies on it. You have to look at the numbers and write down how many tens and how many ones are in each of the two-digit numbers. Then you're to glue the worksheet in your book. You can move on to the next part of the play posit when Miss Lambert has stamped it with a purple stamp. Now we're going to practice counting up in tens. So we're going to solve this problem. 61 plus 40 equals something. We're going to solve that by starting at 61 and counting up in tens. So this time I'm going to use my fingers to help me, and I'm going to count out loud, adding on each 10. So 61, 71, 81, 91, 101. So 61 plus 40 is 101. When we count in tens, we're adding on a number that has a 0 on the end. That means there are no ones in that number. That means that we don't have to add any ones to that column. So the number will always end with 1. You can see that here. All my numbers end with 1. We weren't adding on any ones, we were only changing the tens numbers. So you can see here that the number in the tens column is the number that changes. But when we've got a 0 in the ones column over here, your ones number never changes. Let's practice again on the next slide before you do your commit task. Here are two problems that we're going to solve together to practice. So you can see that in each problem we're adding on tens numbers and there are no ones in each of the numbers for us to add on. So that means that I can already tell all of my numbers that I'm counting up for 72 are going to end with 2. I could put the 2's in now if I wanted to do the end of every number. I know that every number will end with a 2. Every number in this problem, my 34 problem, is going to end with a 4 because I'm not adding any ones on. So I can put my 4's in already. Let's do some skip counting up the top to figure out what 72 plus 30 is. 72, 82, 92, 102. So 72 plus 30 is 102. Let's solve the next problem. 34 plus 20. 34, 44, 54. So 32 plus 20 is 54. In your next commit task, you're going to have a sheet that practices adding on tens numbers. All of the numbers are going to end with a 0. So you know that every number in the pattern is going to end with the same ones number that you started with. Now we're going to practice adding tens and ones in problems with two-digit numbers. here's an example. We're going to look at 25 plus 24. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our tens numbers together. I can see that in the tens column I have 20 and 20, so I'm going to take those numbers first. I'm going to go 20 plus 20, and I know that that is 40. So now that I've done the tens, to remind myself that I've already added those, I'm going to put a little cross through them. If you want to do that in your book, then you can do that too. That just reminds me that I've only got the ones left to add. So now I'm going to add my ones, which is 5 plus 4, and I know that that equals 9. The last thing I have to do is add my two answers together. So 40 plus 9 equals 49. I know that these together equal 49. So my answer for 25 plus 24 is 49. You're going to have an activity sheet where you work these out. What I want you to do is I want you to pick 3 questions that you show all of the working for. So you show all the steps like this in your book. You just need to pick 3. Okay, so 3 questions that you show the working for in your book. The other questions, if you can just solve them in your head and write the answers down, then that's okay. But when you bring up your commit tasks to get checked, you need to bring your maths book to show 3 questions with all of the working. You will not get a purple stamp to move on until you have shown that.